Hello, welcome. My name is Lisa. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator going by Queen Bee Creations, and I go live every Monday and Thursday right here on YouTube and Facebook with some sort of a paper crafting project to teach you guys something new. Usually a fun fold card, but it can vary. I'm so excited that so many of you are on there. I was on there reading comments like before I went live, and it's so cool that so many of you have already liked and shared and all of those good things. I appreciate that so much. Today we are playing around and making a easel card. This is something that was in volume 1 of my Fun Fold tutorial book. I have 2 books out that are 50 patterns each, and within the book there is diagrams and links to YouTube videos, full instructions, full measurements, everything you need to make 50 different cards or folds out of each one. And it's super exciting. And they are generic, kind of. It tells you to use a cardstock, a designer series paper, a stamp set. So it's not specific to any stamp set or line, so that they are something you can use long term and with anything you have on hand. So today we are playing around with Winterly Treetops. This is a new bundle that is going to be available in the September to December mini catalog. This will go live on September 3rd. If you are one of my existing customers and have placed an order in the last year, you should be getting a catalog in the mail if you haven't gotten it already. If you don't get it rather soon, please let me know. I want to make sure you have one of those in your hot little hands. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're looking for someone to work with, I would love to earn your business. So let's move down to the workspace and get started on today's card. Again, this is the bundle we are using. It is the Winterly Treetops. And this is our card. And we are going to be cutting this using the dies out of the designer series paper. That's one of the things I love that Stampin' Up! Does, is that we have the dies that will cut out stamped images, but they will also cut out stuff out of our designer series paper. So this is going to line up and cut that out perfectly. Or if you decided you'd rather stamp, you can stamp and it will cut out your stamped image as well. Here we go. So it works both ways. So you can either color yourself or use what the designer series paper has. To make this card, you're going to need a card base. I am using copper clay for a nice fall feel. And this is 5.5 by 8.5. We're scored at 4 1/4, but also at 2 1/8. I guess if you went this way, because we're cutting this front part in half, or scoring it in half. That's going to be our easel. Then I have a piece of designer series paper that's out of this same suite. And this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's got a wider border. If you wanted to, you could cut it to 4 by 5 1/4, but I kind of liked the skinnier border here. And then we're going to have a wider border between that and this layer here. Oh, I guess we'll have to cut that one down. Let's see. Yep, that needs to come down. Okay, so this one, I think I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, and that would have been wrong because it would be 3 3/4 by 5. Because I wanted that wider border. So let's just trim that down so that what I'm talking about matches our project. That works, right? Then I have this piece of Old Olive. I believe it's Old Olive, or is this Mossy Meadow? Yep, it's Mossy Meadow. Sorry about that. Okay, this piece is 3.5 by 5. So what this is going to do, because this one is 3 3/4 by 5, is it's going to give us a border on the top and the bottom, but not on the two sides. Okay, and then I have the white that's going to go behind that because I'm going to die cut this Mossy Meadow using the larger die, and I wanted a piece of white to go behind it. So that's cut at the same size, 3.5 by 5. For the inside of the card, I have a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. So let's go ahead and do our die cutting. So I'm going to die cut this one and this one. I'm going to bring in the set of dies, and I have them stored in these pockets and on little magnetic cards that I get from Stampin storage. And I have an affiliate link on my website for that. If you decide to purchase through me, I do get a little thank you from them, but it doesn't cost you any extra. So I appreciate it when you buy your Stampin storage products through me. And that link is on my website. I'm going to go ahead and run this through the die cutting machine. Okay, so I made sure that it cut from the back before I pull the die out, because if it didn't, I might want to run it through the machine again. But if you pull it all the way out and then try to stick it back in, it doesn't work real well. So always check that before you remove the die from the paper. Come on. There we go. And then I'm going to die cut this one. How's everybody doing today? I saw someone mention they had 4.5 inches of rain. That sounds like too much all at once. Are there any flooding going on? You know, we had some thunder and lightning and rain last night, and it floods at our corner every time it does that. Thank you to everyone who is entering hashtag Prize Patrol. That is how you get entered into the drawing to win today's card. I have a computer in the background who is collecting everybody's name as they do that. So it has to be spelled correctly, all the same, all run together as one word, no spaces. We have someone from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. That's kind of exciting. Welcome, Tamara. Just checking for any questions. If I do miss your question, please ask again. It's never my intention to miss anybody's question. That's why you're here live, so I can answer those things. So I'm just running backwards looking. Major flooding in Oxford, Connecticut. Ooh. Sorry to hear about that. Okay, so let's go forward with our card. Flooding in Jefferson, Lewis County, New York. Ugh. Sandy Hook, Connecticut got 12 inches of rain. Oh, yuck. Rain's a good thing usually, but not that much all at once. Okay. Like I said, I wanted to glue this piece onto here. Oops, not that one. This one. The one that is the same size. Now, I did it last time where I glued this on first, and then I stuck the birds on top. But I think it may look more natural if we glue the birds on first and then put this over the top. What do you think? I just want to move it so we make sure we still get his tail. I think it's going to go right about there. So you could do this with Tombow really easily too, but I just wanted to stick that down. The tail was too skinny for me to get seal under there, so I'm using Tombow adhesive. I just put it in this little container that has a small nozzle at the top. I have a link to these on my website as well under other products I recommend. You can catch that from my homepage at queenbeecreations.net. It'll pop you over to Amazon. It doesn't charge you any extra. It just gives me a little thank you for sending you over there. But I love that this bottle allows me to put Tombow down without too much. You know, I get nice skinny little lines. I also will sometimes use the My Sweet Petunia glue press. That is great for this kind of thing too, and that it allows you to do little teeny amounts. And that as well as under other products I recommend. Anytime I use a product that you can't get from Stampin' Up, I will try to link it from my website because I often get questions, you know, where did you get that and where can I find one? And so it's best for me to just keep it all in one spot so that if they ever were to change their link, I can go back and correct it all in one spot. Because they do that to me every once in a while. Okay, so there is our birds in the trees. Isn't that really cool? Okay, then I'm going to mount that onto this piece of Blackberry Bliss. And as I said, it's only going to give me the top and bottom, not the sides. And I'm doing this because, number one, I liked the little poke of color popping out from under there, but also because this will make my layers equal. You know, there's a certain size dimension so that it goes down by 1/4 inches or 1/8 inches. And I don't know, this, when it was just the green, it was a wider border top and bottom than it was on the sides. I don't know, just threw me off. And then I'm going to mount that on top of this designer series paper. Although on this one, I went ahead and I used a die and I cut a large rectangle using perennial pies so that I would have another layer of designer series paper, which just kind of saved me some of my supplies so that they go further. We like the idea of our supplies going further, don't we? So anytime you have a large layer of designer series paper or cardstock that's going to be completely buried like that, don't be afraid to cut pieces out from behind there, because once we adhere it to the card, nobody's going to see that anyway. Okay, then I'm going to put adhesive just on the bottom. I'm not going to put any adhesive on the top, so that when I lay this on here, making it all even, it's going to allow me to prop it up. So if I had any adhesive up here at the top, it would glue my card shut and it wouldn't allow me to make the easel. So that's that part. And then on the inside, I have a layer again of the blackberry or mossy meadow, sorry. A layer of mossy meadow with basic white over the top. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment onto a scrap of paper, and then we're going to prop that up on dimensionals that will act as the stopper for my easel. That will hold it open. Okay, so I have one already done, but I already did it because my stamps were not exactly cut centered. And I know I probably could have complained. I mean, they still stamp. I do get a decent image out of them, but when I hover it over the paper, there's more space down here. You know what I mean? It's just off. So when I went to stamp, when I'm looking at my sticker on the front, I expect that to stamp in the center, and it doesn't. And so I fixed it. And then I thought, oh, you know, somebody else may have a set like this, and they may want to know how to fix it. So I thought I'd show you. See how it does kind of an upward trajectory? It's not straight across there. So what I did was I stamped it, and then I stuck it in the trimmer, and I used the grid lines as kind of a guide to see where I was going to lay my words, because you can look through this thing, the little plastic, and you can see if you're straight. Like I can see in this little section right here that it runs underneath those words. So when I cut that way, that made it straight. So once that direction was straight, I can put that down here at the bottom, and then I can cut at a 90-degree angle, and it's going to keep all those sides straight. So now I'm no longer cattywampus. Hopefully you don't get a set of stamps that are off cut like that. That's very, very rare that that happens. And if they at all were to cut off any part of the image, I would contact Stampin' Up! And they would replace it, because they do stand behind their product. But this one doesn't affect the way that it stamps, other than my getting that sentiment straight. And I was able to fix that easy enough. So that's all good. So like I said, because I can stamp with them and the image comes out great, they're not replacing them, but this allowed me to fix it. So hopefully that helps someone that may have the same issue. Hopefully not. Hopefully you don't have the issue, but if you do, that's how you fix it. Okay, and then I had actually stamped across the bottom, and I forgot I did that. So since we still want to do that, and I don't want to stamp onto the green or our copper clay, I'm going to bring in a Post-it note, and I'm going to flush that up against the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in my stamp and my crumb cake. And by having that Post-it note there, it's going to allow me to stamp across. And then the excess shows up on the Post-it note rather than on the bottom of my card. Okay, then I'm going to take my, I have a mossy meadow backing that's just a teensy bit larger than my basic white. So I just have a skinny little border around there. And then in order for it to brace the easel, I want it to pop up a little bit. So I'm going to put dimensionals underneath of it. And then I will take this and try to figure out where I want it. Before I make sure that it's totally stuck. But there we have it. That is our easel card using the Wintry Treetops bundle, stamp set and dies. That is in our next catalog. So hopefully you enjoyed that card and we'll give it a try. Has everybody entered hashtag Prize Patrol? Again, that is how you get entered into the drawing to possibly win today's card. Come on, move. There we go. Okay, I will let you know I am going to be leaving town. I will be in New Mexico. A friend of mine wanted me to house sit for her, and my daughter lives in the same town. So I took her up on the offer, and I will be house sitting for her and visiting my daughter and her foster daughter. And I'm looking forward to that, but I didn't want you guys to miss out on the lives. So what I have done is I have already designed 6 cards and filmed the videos. And I'm going to have them go off as if I'm live. And then what I'm going to do is show up in the comments and answer any questions you guys have and still interact with you. And I didn't want you to miss out. Just because I'm gone doesn't mean that you shouldn't still get your twice a week live from me. So again, has everybody entered hashtag Prize Patrol? Again, that is how you get entered into the drawing to win today's card. It all needs to be spelled out together as one word, all run together like that, because the computer is collecting those in the background. I also want to let you guys know I just sent out a newsletter this morning, and it has links to my paper share. If you are looking to get a sampling of all the papers and the ribbons that are in the new mini catalog, you can buy what we call a paper share or a product share, where I will be cutting them up into 6x6 pieces and packaging them up so you get just one 6x6 of each paper instead of the 12x12, massive copies. It allows you to try them out and play with them and have a little bit of everything without breaking the bank. I am just taking reservations now because we cannot take money we have to be within a week of when we can order them. I will be placing the order on September 3rd or 4th, right when it goes live. And then they will be delivered right before I get home, and then I will package them all up and send them out. I've already made all the labels. Everything's ready to go, so don't feel that my vacation will interfere with that, because it will not. So let's pull up our wheel and see who today's winner is. So there we go. Louisa is our winner. Congratulations. In order to claim your prize, you want to go to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then up there in the address bar where you typed that in, you're going to add to the end of that a /prize patrol, and that will put you to a Google form where you will give me your address and claim your prize so I know where to mail it off to. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope you join me again on my pre-recorded video that will go live on Thursday at 2:30. Thank you so much. Bye.